Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the TinkerTribe podcast. I'm your host, Greg Dowd. Welcome to the show. Tonight, I have a few things that I'm working on right now, and then I wanted to get into the main thing that I wanted to share with everybody tonight, which is some advice I would give to my younger self. Some things that I think would probably help some younger guys out there that are thinking or may not have that much of a direction going in their life, and maybe some lessons learned from my aspect of things and where I currently am right now. And yeah, maybe it can help some folks out there. So started some seeds here. Got some seeds going with these solo cups that me and my dad started here. I got some tomatoes right here, and this is really easy. So you just get some of these solo cups and poke some holes in the bottom, and you take another cup, and then you use that to water, and that way any excess water won't spill everywhere. And you can just set them like we got over here, back here, right over here in this area. All of them are sitting out there to germinate and turn into some big old plants that we're going to put on the ground real soon. Now, April typically has been the last frost date for us here in the northern part of Alabama. And a lot of folks that I know they typically wait until after Easter to get some of their spring crop going, but I think we're going to do some experiments by planting some of the colder stuff in the ground a little earlier, and then also um, we've got a bunch of stuff started back there. Got some onions, some radishes, some pumpkins, some corn, some lettuce, some sunflowers, some tomatoes, some peppers, and so yeah, we're one of the things learned from doing some gardening over the years is that it's important to grow the things that you're going to eat. So that's one of the things that we're focused on growing here. What's up, Jay? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you hanging out. Um, is to grow the food that you're going to want to eat, and then if you have animals or livestock, grow some food that you're going to use for your livestock. And one of the cool things that I heard today, and this is a really good thing if you are growing food, that one of the trees that works really well in our climate down here are fig trees, and those fig trees can also be used as a natural sweetener. I just caught this through a podcast I was listening to today with Jack Spirko and Nicole Sauce and John Willis, listening to their podcasts, and they were talking about how figs, you would use chopped figs in a recipe that you wanted sugar for, and they grow prolific very very well here in the south. And even last season when we had a late frost, we still had a crop of some of those figs come up from some of the fig trees we planted a while back. So when the best time to plant a tree is today, and then well, it was 20 years ago, and the next best time is today. Um, so yeah, if you're in the like the southeastern climate area, I know that figs do really well down here, and it could be a sugar source if there's not another source for sugar around for anything that you want to make that's like a something sweet. So um, so yeah, that's what we got going on right now. And years past, we would go out and buy like a potting mix. And last season, the potting mix that we used, we had a really bad germination rate for our seeds, and so this season, this is the soil that we used is a mixture of some of our local topsoil and some of the compost that we made from our chicken tractor system that we've been implementing. We've got a tractor that chicken or a a tractor that chickens the birds around. But yeah, so we got a tractor and we're moving the chickens all around the yard, and we're also giving them a pile of compost. This is the chicken tractor on steroids method that if you go to Perma Pastures Farm on YouTube, you can look up how he's doing the chicken tractor on steroids. He's got a whole playlist series of how he does it. Uh, it is really intensive for creating compost, and if you want to create a lot of compost rapidly, that it is a really great way of doing it. What we found is uh, my dad is still working, so he's not fully retired, and my mom is retired. My dad is definitely more into taking care of the animals and stuff, and I am working, and so a lot of times I'm not getting out there and putting in the compost and getting all that action going. But what we have been doing is building a pile for them and adding their feed into all the leaf litter and this compost pile for the chickens, and they'll do a really good job of getting in there and scratching through that compost pile and finding their little bugs and things that they eat through there, and also all the kitchen scraps and everything are going into that compost pile. And we built a decent little amount of compost there, and definitely good enough for getting seeds started, and could be used to do like an inoculant for like micro organisms, and throwing that into some new soil for new beds that we're going to be making. So through like a compost tea type process. So anyway, chickens are a really good thing to have if you want to be growing food, and the food that you grow, the excess things that spoil or go bad, you can feed to your chickens, and they're kind of a really good way of reducing your waste at your home. And if you have the property for them, they give you eggs as the benefit, and they're generally goofy creatures, and they do a really good job at composting things for you, and so they're really helpful in that regard. So, so yeah, if you want to learn more about the chicken tractor on steroid system, go to Perma Pastures Farm YouTube channel. And as I stop being so lazy with doing the chicken tractor, I'll probably create my own little video series, kind of cataloging how that process goes, and also created some biochar and have thrown it in there with that compost as well. And um, so that biochar, if you're not familiar with that, is charcoal that you're making. yourself. You're basically taking some wood and starving it of oxygen, but heating it up to a pretty high temperature, and you're making charcoal out of that. So all the gases that are in that wood get released, and then you're left with just this charred wood, and it's got like a super high amount of pores in its structure, so it's got a really high surface area, and it's a really good additive for compost. And in fact, you want to put it in with like your animal system. Like it's a great thing that you could add into a chicken coop because it'll take the smell down, and it'll also uh, in it'll help their digestive system actually, the chickens, because it is pretty sharp, and it can help as like a rooster teeth kind of thing, where you would normally put in some like gravel, but the biochar can help break down the food for the chickens and help stretch your food out for them. And it also can take the smell down in your chicken coop area for their poop and everything. And then the other added benefit is that once all that biochar is moved through their system and everything, it's basically inoculated with micro organisms, and it will help improve the overall health of the soil and build this really healthy environment for all of the microorganisms to thrive in the soil. And you know, this is a practice for building good soil, and there's lots of videos out there both on biochar and the chicken tractors system, and all the benefits of building the soil microbiology. So it's one of the keys to, if you want to grow anything, is to get your soil health in proper order, is what I found through some of the years of gardening efforts I've been through. And if one of the key things to growing a lot of different types of things is having that microbiology in place, and having a non-compacted soil. And so if you're starting right off the bat, you want to break up the ground and use something, use some kind of a tiller to get that done, and break up the ground really well if you have a really hard compacted soil. And then come in with some kind of like of a inoculant with the compost tea of some kind, and then like dress the top of the soil with some composted materials. And that could be one way that you could supercharge and get something started. And we're going to be doing that here with extending our garden bed. And over the years, we've been adding like sheep manure, and leaving all of our crops, and basically chopping, dropping them into the garden area to build that soil up. And so we have one area that we've been working on building that soil up for quite a few many years now. And then we're working on extending that out. And so that's going to be some videos I'm going to put out, is extending that whole garden area. So but the soil is super important. So if you don't have the room to, dig up a bunch of your ground, or you don't want to go that route, then raised beds is another really good way of having that non-compacted soil that you can do and add compost to, and is a really great method for growing all kinds of stuff, because you can keep that soil in there from getting too compacted, and you can keep continually adding compost. You don't have to worry about weeds as much. It's easier to plant because it's more at a you can set it more at like a height level. It also has helps hold heat in those raised beds, so that it can help germinate your seeds and everything and extend your growing season. I've also seen some friends of mine take the raised beds and they've put hoop houses over the top of them to extend the growing season in those raised beds. So yeah, if you're just starting off growing food, then if you want to get started with building some raised beds. That's a really great way to get some food growing and get some soil. You're gonna have to bring soil in there and some composted materials. But one way that you can keep from bringing in a bunch of soil is that you can fill most of the bed up with wood that you found from like your local area, and do like a hugelkultur raised bed, and you can keep from having to fill that whole bed up with a bunch of soil. And over time, it'll help retain moisture in there, and um, will save you from having to bring in a bunch of soil. So yeah, raised beds are really great, and you can find local materials. You can make raised beds out of pallets. I have a buddy that we started working on building him some raised beds in the front of his house, and used some scrap wood that he had and charred the surface of it so that we could do the Japanese shugshui ban method to uh, build the outside face of the raised bed. And he used some of these old plastic. There's some plastic like parts containers that he picked up from the Toyota plant, and um, so we got that project started, and I haven't been back in a while to help him get that finished, but we got that started over at his place, and I've got some film of starting getting that going, and gonna help him get that all wrapped up as well. So the big thing I wanted to share with you guys tonight is I recently listened to the Andy Frisella podcast, and one of his more recent shows on there, and he said something that stuck with me pretty well. He talked about personal excellence is the ultimate form of rebellion, and how striving to improve yourself, it improves the world eh, all around you. And that is something more and more that I've realized uh, as I've gotten older here, is that that really is the one of the big things that I've come to realize, is that you really do have to change yourself before the things around you are going to change. You know, you have to strive to be the best version of yourself that you can, and that effort, those efforts that you're putting into that, are reflected on the people that you affect around you, and the people that see you as the example for them. So that's one thing that I wanted to focus on tonight, is really thinking about. As I was thinking about that, I was just thinking about, well, what advice would I have given to my younger self, or for any younger people that might be out there, any younger guys that might be out there starting their life off. And one thing that really helped me out um, was to define some vision for myself moving into the future, and defining a purpose that I wanted to go after. And that, that purpose for me is to see if I can to provide value to others, and give people white pills on things that I'm learning, and becoming more self-reliant, and sharing those things with other people to help lift other people up as well. uh, and so, that kind of gives, without that purpose, you're kind of aimless, you're kind of moving all over the place, and you're always kind of you're jumping from one thing to the next, to maybe find an escape from the life you're living, or um, something that is going to bring you maybe some temporary happiness, some kind of temporary pleasure. But those things are all fleeting, and they're not going to help you gain any type of success moving yourself forward into the future. So, um, I spent so many years, chasing some things that I thought would make me happy, and
It's official. We can
it was a lot of these going to parties and hanging out with people that were in a similar
pretty
mindset.
much treat COVID.
Sorry, I am I'm working on this here, so let me just show you guys the episode I'm talking about, and let me post this in the chat here. But this is the episode that I pulled this from the Andy Frisella podcast, and let me pull up the timestamp where he talks about this, and I just want to play this little section for you guys as a kind of a little bit of a precursor to what I'm about to talk about here. I'm going to get into a little further. But yeah, I mean, chasing after those things is only a temporary, may bring you some kind of temporary happiness. And what I would have told my younger self would have been to not be lured in by those things in the world and focus more on a skill, like a life skill that um, I could carry into the future and become more entrepreneurial and started to, utilize that skill to help other and provide more value to others and learn things like salesmanship and like even gotten into like some more forms of art making and started to create some stuff like I'm doing right now with content and making some kind of content. Um, instead of buying into all the things that you believe or were led to believe that make you fit in with a group of some kind or um, that everybody else around you is doing that this is something this is something I'm just gonna buy into that's gonna make me happy is just going out with friends and drinking and playing video games and doing all these things that don't help you build yourself into a better person but keep you kind of trapped at where you're at. So let me see if I can change my screens here, and let me pull up this browser. There we go. So, so here is this excerpt here.
Is you don't want to control your own life, and because you don't want to control your own life, things continue to get worse. It starts with each individual. It spreads from individual to individual to individual to individual. It goes from the parents to the kids to the neighborhood to the community to the state to the fucking country. Like, holy shit, man, this isn't that hard to understand. But until you get your own shit together, that, like me saying personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion, is not some bullshit. That is the actual solution. Yeah, but guys.
So that's the pep talk there, and that very very much rings true. I believe that you really have to strive for the personal excellence for that to bleed out to other areas around you, and you have to be the example. I've heard other folks that I've been following recently, a lot of the same kind of message, which is never break character. Be the person that other people want to be around. That you're lifting other people up with you, along with you on your personal development, and to relentlessly pursue those goals that you have in your life and lift other people, help lift other people up as well. And through doing that, through by creating some kind of a business or becoming more self-reliant and showing the example for other people, folks are going to be seeing that, and seeing the how your life is going, and want to emulate those types of things, and it builds this upward spiral instead of a downward spiral, or something that's going to hold you in the same place for a long time. So, some things that I would have told my younger self would have been to focus on your fitness is a big one, and work out, do your workout every day, do some kind of a form of a workout every day, and really focus on getting fit as one of the things. Um, Another one would have been to gain some type of really helpful skill. One of the things that I do appreciate about when I was younger and growing up was that my dad would bring me out and show me how to work on cars, and that has been a very useful skill to me, as well as um, being able to troubleshoot things when they're not functioning well. And a lot of that came from working on cars with my dad when I was younger, and like small engine things, and just general projects of helping my dad build things with my hands. And so, if I was going to go back, I probably would have done some type of trade skill, and gotten some kind, got into a trade as a good skill in the beginning, and started working early, rather than going and getting the degree and then coming out and then trying to figure out, you know, the working world that was set on that path, and going and doing the college thing. And then, at the end of the college thing, I worked a couple different jobs, but none of those jobs were really aligned with like skills to take on later in life. Um, so they did teach me, that there are certain jobs that I didn't want to have, and then so I do think it was good to have some of those jobs. But yeah, if you're a younger guy, I would say, definitely get into something early on that's going to give you a skill later on in life that you can utilize. That is going to bring value to other people. Um, and making one of your goals is to stay away from all the party stuff, and the alcohol, and the and the drugs, and stay away from things that are going to be distractions on your path. That a lot your peers might be really into doing a lot of these things, but you can set yourself aside, and start really focusing on something that's going to build yourself later in life, and you're going to have the most energy that you're going to have is while you're younger. And so you're going to have a lot more energy to get a lot of that stuff done uh, in um, in your youth. So, Jay, you're saying if you're interested in the pursuit of excellence, then you might enjoy watching Red Pill, MGTOW, and Stoic content. Yeah, I mean, I have gotten into a lot of those guys. Like, I follow like Wes Watson is one of the fitness guys I follow. He's really into talking about like the meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Um, uh, and then like Andy Frisella is another one of these guys that somebody turned me on to as well. That he's really helpful. But yeah, talking to when I was talking to John Willis at SOE Tactical, one of the things we talked about in our conversation, what he told me was, your frequency is what you frequently see. And so if you are that's also something in your pursuit of your personal excellence, and striving to become the best version of yourself, is to uh, you know put that content in front of your face that's going to help you push towards your goals, and that personal development type content, whether it be like videos showing you different workouts and things like that, or just mindset stuff. All those things are going to be beneficial for you instead of just consuming, um, you know, whatever whatever entertainment or sports or whatever that's, like I said, gonna keep you in that same place that you're at. Like, you want to focus on things and find some kind of a mentor type person in your life that can help pull you or help support you in your vision of where you want to be. And you don't want to be broke, and you don't want to be living with your parents, okay? When you're my age, like, it's something that bothers me. um, it bothers me a lot of the place I'm at right now. Is like, uh, from some of the bad decisions I've made in the past has kind of put me where I'm at right now. And so and so anyway, I mean, it's figuring this stuff out when you're my age. It gets harder than when you're younger and you can be working towards your goals and focusing on those things instead of getting wrapped up in uh, a lot of the temporary escapes or things that might bring you some kind of temporary happiness in the moment, or just going along to get along with the crowd. Like, that's really not how you're gonna get anywhere, is by just going along to get along. And a lot of the reasons why our world is in the state it's in, I believe, is because we have so many people that are in that mindset of apathy, and just saying that it is what it is, the world is what it is, there's nothing I can do about it. But there really is, if you as an individual choose to strive for that personal excellence. It does have a ripple effect on those other people around you, I believe. And um, I was talking to a coworker this week and talking about some stories. We're sharing some stories with each other. And you can experience these kind of universal or natural law in your life by the way that you go out and live your life. You'll see some of those things reflected back at you. Some people call it karma. And it's really, I believe, the rules of this reality on how life is a mirror, really, kind of like a reflection of your own internal state and where you are. And so, um, I think when you're stagnant and you're not in a growth, and you're not growing, that a lot of those um, a lot of those feelings of negative feelings will really build inside of you. And a lot of those things can be resolved by pushing yourself and growing. And a lot of times that means doing something that's uncomfortable. And I've been realizing that more and more by staying consistent with the daily workouts that I've been doing, is that doing that thing that is uncomfortable is really helping me grow in mental toughness, like just the will, just my personal will. And then my overall health has really drastically improved. Like, the the me before I started this would get really worn out and really tired, and just going in and completing a work day would lead me to completely exhausted, and then even be really tired going into the weekends. Right now, I'm still feeling tired, but I have a lot more energy now to get things done. Now that I've been consistently doing the workouts and lost some weight, that I'm feeling a lot better about myself personally because I've been getting those wins in myself, and that I can see those changes happening uh, with just my physical strength and then just the overall energy levels that I've had. Uh, so yeah, it's really beneficial for anyone to push yourself and push yourself towards the positive side of things, and learn a great skill that has value for other people, and share that with others. And that's another thing that these folks that I follow, they were talking about today, that Jack and Nicole and John were talking about today, is you may not think that you can achieve something like, say, buying your own little piece of land and getting out on that piece of land and starting to live a different type of lifestyle. But there's all types of ways you can monetize and help you do that now. Uh, that really just the one of the key words that they shared was the wonderment of, you know when you're putting out content like that, just showing that story of where you're starting on some piece of land and then building that thing over time, is it really brings a lot of wonderment to other people on doing something that a lot of people don't put the effort toward doing. And so, just showing those things is a big deal for a lot of people, because a lot of people aren't going to put in the effort toward doing that thing. And so, there's a lot of people that are looking for that type of inspiration. And you don't know all the people that you're going to affect by putting that out there. So yeah, that's the big things, is like it really is like staying on that positive growth path is going to be not doing what everybody else is doing, and pushing towards your goals and your vision by getting uncomfortable and pursuing the things that are going to lead to your success over time. And it doesn't come that success comes by putting in the repetitions and doing something to get really good at it. You're not going to just like start doing one thing and do it for like a month or so, and expect that you're going to be on the top of the game by doing it for just 1 month and then moving on to something else. Like, you really have to focus on that thing that you want to be successful at, and you just have to put the hours in of doing the reps and putting in the repetitions to get to the next level that you want to be at. So, it's going to be awkward, it's going to be weird, it's going to be uncomfortable to do those things, but it really takes that continuous effort and consistency in what you're doing to keep getting better and better at it, and to keep making those modifications to keep growing. And another thing I would have told my younger self was not to worry about what other people think about you, because they're not no they're not like involved with your life in any regard. Like, they're just people that are maybe judging you in some way, and their opinion shouldn't matter to you. That what you want to achieve, that you need to focus on keep getting better and continuing to push forward with that in your life to get to that better place. And don't worry about what those other people are thinking about you. I know it can be a big hang up for a lot of folks, is to the judgment of other people in pursuing something or starting something. But you really have to get over that, because that's really going to hold you back, and even attempting to get something started and pursuing something that you wish to pursue. So, what's up, Angie Marie? Hello there. I definitely need to push myself more in a lot of ways. What was once uncomfortable is now comfortable. So I just need to keep going and figure out what's next to push me. Yeah, I think what's what's helpful is not to become too overwhelmed with something in the beginning, and to take like and make yourself a list. That's something that I've done, is to either write it down or take some notes in my phone and break it down into different steps toward that thing that I'm looking to move forward and achieve. And even things like getting the garden going, like you know, one step is just getting some seeds started, and that's gonna prepare you for planting that whole garden out, and you don't have to do it all in one day. You can do it over multiple days, and stretch out that planting so that you're not too overwhelmed on getting everything planted all at once. So that's something to think about in breaking down your goals, and you know don't be afraid to say no to other people. I think like sometimes you gotta tell people no, and even though that might be something hard for you to do, that's something that I found in myself when I was younger as well. Is that I really was trying to be a people pleaser type person, and found that I was doing a lot for other people while never pursuing the thing that I wanted to pursue, and never left any time for me to improve myself, um, but always looking to seek the approval of other people. And so anyway, that was something that I had to realize, is that you're gonna be kind of the weird person, or maybe the odd one out sometimes, and you're gonna have to say no to some things that might have brought you some joy, and in toward focusing on what you want to achieve. So yeah, you got to put the reps in. You got to make some sacrifices to get there. You got to get uncomfortable sometimes to make those things happen. And I think it's all for I'm way happier right now going after the things that I'm pursuing, by doing the podcast on a regular basis, and getting the workouts done, and staying consistent with all that, and working more on self reliance, and all that stuff. I'm way happier now doing all those things than I ever was in the past, by seeking that temporary, escape or happiness through things that just kept me in the same position and didn't help me grow at all. So from my current standpoint, I would say, you know, work on those things that work on those things that are going to help you grow, and put away all that other stuff to pursue your goals in your life and push you forward. And it's going to be more of an upward spiral than a downward spiral, and you'll be a lot happier by reaching for those things than staying just stagnant, I think. So Jay Young, become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Todd Herman, talk show host in Seattle. Yeah, that's a good quote. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah, yeah. I remember one of the books that I read was the Gorilla Mindset by Mike Cernovich, and in there, one of the things that he talked about in that book was, uh, I believe it was one of the Army Rangers had a one of their mottos, I think, was embrace the suck. And so when you're going through something very difficult, a difficult situation, basically you just kind of become one with the uncomfort of it and just kind of keep pushing through, even though you're in that uncomfortable situation. That you become one one with the uncomfortable situation, and you just I kind of imagine it like that scene in Forrest Gump where Lieutenant Dan is up on the ship in the stormy seas, and he's just like saying, "Bring it on," "Bring it on." Is that all you got? Is that all you got? um. So anyway, that's kind of my rant for tonight. I'm gonna leave it there. I wanted to again put the word out for this local workshop that some friends of mine are putting on. That's going to be this Saturday. It's going to be a mushroom inoculation workshop, and I wanted to put that back out there. And if anybody is interested, that it will be myself and some other folks in our local area that will be out there working on and doing this mushroom inoculation workshop on March 9th from 1 to 4 p.m. over at Sportsman Lake Park in Cullman. And the link is in the description of the video. And this is a really great workshop that my friends are putting on. I was there last year and walked away with a lot of more knowledge on how to cultivate edible mushrooms and how to inoculate logs. It's a really fun little process, and they have all the stuff there for you to figure out how to do this. And it's really simple, and it makes it really fun when you got a bunch of people together that you can all do this together. Tickets are $30. If you use code TinkerTribe, you can get 15% off that workshop. And then they also have, if you want to buy additional logs, you can purchase those as well. Um, so with your ticket, I think you get one of the inoculated logs that you are going to learn uh, how to grow, and then uh, you can purchase an additional log. So so yeah, they provide all those logs and all the stuff that you'll need to get them inoculated, as well as the information about the specific mushrooms that you're going to be growing with the oyster and shiitake mushrooms. Really cool workshop that they're putting on, and be a really great event to learn from other people that maybe a skill, pick up a new skill. So Jay Young, great concept. Jocko Willink talks about buds, candidates who embrace the suffering and crush that course. Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting concept. Another one that was in that book that I thought was really cool was the samurai. He talked about the samurai and their meditations on their upon death. They would meditate on all the different ways you could die, and then they were not afraid of living, as they would tell themselves that they were already dead, or it would make them more brave in battle or more courageous in a battle type situation, as they were had already experienced all those different ways in their mind. So that was another interesting concept of the meditation on their death is an interesting thing. So yeah, go check out this workshop, and the link for that is in the description. It's on eventbrite.com, and that'll be a really good workshop and be some really cool people there. And let me just just drop that there also in the live chat for you guys that you can check that out. Hakakure, the resolute Jay Young, the resolute acceptance of death. Hakakure. Man, I saw that by watching this show Fish Tank recently, and one of the contestants uh, gave I guess that book to the guy that Sam Hyde is one of the guys that ran the show. Uh, created the show, him and Jet Neptune, and he posted something about that. Uh, yeah, Hagakure. Yeah, and I guess it was a samurai that wrote that. Um, so yeah, some really cool stuff about mindset, yeah, from the past there. So that's about it, guys. Just wanted to share with you guys again. Go check out the upcoming workshop, and I'm gonna leave it there with you guys tonight. And I gotta go. I still gotta go do my workout for the day. So jump off here and gonna get into that. And um, we also, I do want to say that if you're in our local area, that we are having our monthly get together meetup is going to be tomorrow night at the Monkeys Wrench Makerspace. So if you're around and you want to come and check out some other folks that are in the area that are like minded, that if you're in Huntsville, then come on by the Monkeys Wrench, and we usually get started around 6 o'clock in the evening, and come hang out. And other than that, guys, if you found value in this, go. If you found that this was a podcast that gave you some value, please share it around and maybe share it with some friends and maybe some folks that might be able to get a benefit out of it. So. Um, Other than that, we'll see you guys next week for another podcast. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your week. And go out there and get uncomfortable. All right. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.